senhor? Ficamos a coletivo. Alright, so straight ahead we have riot police, and that is because today is the day of the bloqueo. There are going to be some protests, and hopefully, even though we're walking right at the hoofstand, hopefully nothing happens to us. Look at that, riot police. Holy fuck! Whew. I mean, we better get out of here. It's gonna get tense. Oh yeah, so the protests are over there. And these protests, from what I could gather, it's because of the recent high wave of criminality here in Lima in particular. It's a nationwide protest, but I think the criminality is very focused on Lima. You know, as I've been saying to you, that everyone is warning me about getting shot, getting robbed, and this and that. And I think the protests are because of that. So basically, the thing is that there's a mafia, which is called sicariatos here in Lima. And the mafia basically charges the bus companies and whatnot, the transportation companies, a fee to go around places. And when the bus companies refuse to pay, in this case the drivers or whatnot, they get shot and killed. And the government does nothing. At least that's what Peruvians are protesting about, the lack of action from the government about the situation. And yeah, and here we are. It's gonna get tense, I bet. Amigos, this here is the famous Lima Cathedral, the place where one Francisco Pizarro is entombed, the Conquistador of Peru, the man who came from Spain to Panama and then to Peru and conquered the Inca Empire, with obviously a ton of Indian auxiliaries, but let's brush that off from the plot, just like the Spanish did. But yeah, as you may know, he's the founder of the city of Lima. After conquering Cusco, he went to the coast, to this place, to Lima, and this is basically downtown Lima. This is Centro Histórico. This is a place where Pizarro and other Spanish conquistadors established themselves. And it's also the place where Pizarro died. In fact, he was killed by the son of his business partner, Diego Almagro. I wonder if it's closed now. Discúlpame, ¿la catedral está cerrada?
Está atendiendo por allá.
¿Cómo?
Por Lampa está atendiendo.
¿Dónde se va?
Por Lampa. Si no hay ingreso por acá media cuadra, es por Lampa.
Ok. Pero acá, como estos señores, no sé.
Ellos viven acá.
So yeah, because of the protest, this part is closed. Hopefully, on that side, it's open. We'll see. And yeah, as I was saying, that building over there, straight ahead, is a Palacio del Gobierno. The same palace, I mean, it has since been renovated, I assume. But it was there that Francisco Pizarro was assassinated by the son of his business partner, Diego Almagro. Was his business partner? The son was Diego Almagro El Mozo. This is the title, El Mozo, that is given to the son of a person. So you have the senior and the junior. It's the equivalent of junior. And yeah, this is because Diego Almagro himself was killed by the brothers of Francisco Pizarro in Cusco, if I'm not mistaken. And then Azurventos, the son of Diego Almagro El Mozo, killed Francisco Pizarro right there in the Palacio del Gobierno in Lima. There's a very eerie feeling in the city because of the protests. Right, so let's enter the Lima Cathedral. This, of course, is where you confess your sins to the Father. Sit here. It's like this, like you see in the movies, and you talk to him. I mean, there's not much space, honestly. So it's kind of uncomfortable to, you know, to tell your sins. Let's check this room here. Sure, it's all about more paintings of the conquest. Are they? Oh, look. A painting of the rulers of Peru. All the Sapa Incas. Pachacuti, Tupac Yupanqui, Huayna Capac, Huascar and Atahualpa. And then from Atahualpa to Carlos V. Charles V was a Spanish king and also Holy Roman Emperor at the time of the conquest of Peru. And then the Philips, Philip the first of Portugal, second of Spain, because Spain annexed Portugal right after annexing Peru and Mexico and whatnot. Philip, and then these, I don't know. Philip V, weird. Charles II, this is the mentally disabled Spanish king, the last Habsburg Spanish king. Then there was the War of Spanish Succession, and it went from Charles II to Philip V. Is it? I think it is. Who is started the Bourbon dynasty. So the Spanish kings, they went from the Habsburgs, from Charles V all the way. Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire, Charles I of Spain. So it went from Charles I of Spain to Charles II of Spain, the mentally disabled guy. The Habsburg dynasty died out, and the Bourbons took over the Spanish throne after the war of what is called the War of Spanish Succession. Okay, so we must look for the tomb of Francisco Pizarro. Oh, is this it? No. What is this? Cripta de la Capilla de Nuestro Señor de la Candelaria. I don't know what this is, but let's check out the crypt. Oh, there are many tombs. Tumba uno. Look at that. Is this a real skeleton? Are these real skeletons? I cannot believe it. Maybe they are, maybe they're just props. I have no idea. Look at that. A skull. 2 skulls, in fact. 3. Many more. Damn. Oh, this guy has had all his teeth missing except for that one. Damn. Do they actually keep the skeletons like this in open air? Maybe. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? No, it is not. Damn, where's the tomb? Where's Francisco Pizarro? He has my gold. Oh, this is just souvenirs. Oh. I think we found it. I think we found it. Oh yes, we did find it. The mausoleum of none other than Francisco Pizarro. This is a reference to Los 13 Compañeros de Francisco Pizarro, are the supposedly 13 Spanish who went ahead with a Peruvian expedition instead of going back. Look at that. This is his family tree. A bust of the man himself. Look at him. Look at him. A greedy, bloodthirsty murderer. Who do you think it? Okay. Look at the painting. Pizarro. And of course, capturing native peoples from here, sending them to Spain so they can get training in Spanish and whatnot, and so the cultural exchange is easier to make, and then there's translators and whatnot. Oh. Yeah, I forgot to mention it was here in the Lima Cathedral in which they found the supposedly actual bones of Francisco Pizarro. And he had obviously some injuries over there because he was killed by Diego Almagro Almozo. Look. Must have got some stab wounds to the neck, to the face as well, to the jaw. All stab wounds. Look at this. Look, this is it. The tomb of Francisco Pizarro. Nació en Trujillo de Extremadura, España. Trujillo is a small city in the province of Extremadura in Spain, which is a province right next to Portugal. And at the time of the Spanish conquest, it was, I mean, it still is the, I think, it's the poorest province in Spain. And so, of course, if even today it is the poorest or one of the poorest provinces in Spain, you can imagine 500 years ago. So yeah, the type of guy to do this incredible journey from one end of the ocean to another, from Europe to America, just, you know, a farmer, poor farmer who, from Extremadura, does not have many, you know, prospects of life, and so they decide to go to the new world in search of riches and whatnot. And yeah, so that's the reason why many conquistadors, famous conquistadors, hail from this particular province, Extremadura. But also from other provinces as well. You know, Pizarro was from there, Cortés was from there, and many more. So yeah, the majority of conquistadors were in fact just poor farmers with some military training from the wars with the Muslims, who did not have many life prospects, and so they decided to sail to America. And that's it. Wait, are these the remains of the man? I think there are. Maybe. Or maybe they're entombed inside. I'm not sure. And you can see the quite ironic text of Pax, meaning peace in Latin, in the tomb of a man who, you know, was quite violent, I guess. But yeah, life goes on, and it's because of Francisco Pizarro, in large part. Why? Peru, all the way, I mean, how many kilometers away from Spain? And yeah, and they speak Spanish, and that's why you have Catholicism right here, because of that man over there, because of that set of bones of Francisco Pizarro. So yeah, let's leave the cathedral and let's go somewhere else.